The River Dwyryd is a river in Gwynedd, Wales which flows principally westwards, draining to the sea into Tremadog Bay, south of Porthmadog. Geography: the Dwyryd rises in the hills to the north of Westwards. At its most northern extent, water draining from Moel Wynmawr drains into the Tanagrisha Reservoir, the outflow of which forms the source of the Afon Godel. This is joined by the River Dwyryd grid reference, SH 695438. Below Rydwyson, the river is joined by the Afon Sinful which flows from the east down a deep wooded gorge which includes the spectacular Rhadr Sinful south of Westwards. The main river from here on flows through a wide valley formed by glaciation but with a broad flat base formed from reworked glacial moraines and riverine gravel deposits. The valley, the Vale of Westwards, is worked for agriculture but is subject to routine winter flooding. The Afon Tafan Helig has its confluence about 1 mile further downstream. This tributary rises south of Galilee down just north of the reservoir of Gwynedd but does not receive any water from the reservoir. There are a number of small lakes and reservoirs in the woodlands north of Plast and Wybulk which also drain south into the river. These lakes include Llyn Wynedd, Llyn Hafod Llyn and Limer. Llyn Porthmadog, a large reservoir close to the A470, is the only inland water in the UK that has been used as a source of cooling water for a nuclear power station. The outflow from the Porthmadog reservoir, the Afon Pricer, flows down the steeply wooded valley of Kyn and Llenurch before joining the main river at Westwards. A large part of the flow from the reservoir is channeled through the hydroelectric power station at Westwards and the flow from the station rejoins the Pricer before the confluence. As the river moves into a long tidal estuary, it flows under the railway line. A former toll road and rail bridge known as Pont Brewet crossed the estuary before the removal in 2014. Due south of Porthmadog, the river is joined by the Afon Glyn which drains the southwest catchment from Llyn Tegwyn Ichaven Llyn Tegwyn Isap. The confluence is adjacent to Glastraeth, a large extent of salt-in marsh. The estuary of the Dwyryd is long and sandy and includes the confluence of the River Glasling close to the low water mark. The whole of the river drains off igneous and ancient rocks of the Cambrian and Ordovician which are all base poor. Much of the catchment has also been used for commercial forestry during the last 100 years. As a consequence, many of the tributaries are highly acidic as a result of atmospheric acidification. This has constrained the quality of the fishery and the biodiversity in many tributaries. Some of these problems have been exacerbated by past industrial actions including metal mining, slate mining, animal skin processing and the use by the army of a gunnery range with large amounts of emplaced metal cartridge shells.